Hello. I'm going to try something a little different this time. I've had a lot of fun the last several months telling stories that involved mixing fact and fiction and seeing if you could tell what was what. And I do intend to continue those videos, especially the ones that deal with ridiculous and over-the-top inventions, which, in my opinion, are the ones that work best for what I've been doing. But I also wanted to try something new. So for this video, I've taken a phrase, the circle of confusion. And I've recorded already 3 different segments in which I give 3 different explanations for that phrase. In a minute, I'm going to have my computer put them in a random order and play them for you and see if you can figure out which ones are true and which ones are false. Are you ready? The circle of confusion has to do with popular entertainment. What do the movie Black Panther and the TV series The Walking Dead and The Crown have in common, other than that you have heard of them? The answer is a management and production company. This company produces AMC's The Walking Dead and the spin-off Fear the Walking Dead, as well as a few other shows that I personally had not heard of. They also manage one of the writers and the cinematographer of the movie Black Panther, and an actress playing Princess Diana on The Crown. Their website actually lists quite a few other people that they manage, including many that I both had and had not heard of. Assuming this one is true, I will link to their website in the description if you want to explore. The company goes by the name Circle of Confusion and it has this logo. I'm not sure if the circle is meant to be confused, confusing, or both, but someone didn't color inside the lines. That said, their website is fairly bare. I was unable to find any explanation of why they chose the name Circle of Confusion, but with Hollywood artistic types like these, even if they had explained it, I'm not sure it would have made any sense to me. The circle of confusion has to do with photography. When you take a photo of something, light bounces off the subject and goes in many directions. Your camera lens collects this and points it towards the camera sensor or film. This creates essentially a cone of light. In theory, only when the exact point, the very tip of this cone, is exactly on the camera sensor are things in focus. Of course, you're usually photographing more than just a single point, meaning that in reality there would be a lot more beams of light creating many cones, some more in focus than others. But my animation skills are not up to showing that without it becoming a confusing mess. So, if the light coming off of your subject creates a cone whose point is exactly on the camera sensor, that will be in focus. However, in practice, our eyes are not nearly that sensitive. If, instead of a perfect point, we see a small enough circle, we really can't tell the difference and it will still look focused to us. The smallest circle that our eyes will still see as an in-focus point is the circle of confusion. This means that there is a little bit of wiggle room for things to still appear in focus. It also allows us to adjust the depth of field to create certain effects. If I make my aperture very small, the cone elongates, so more of it is smaller in diameter than the circle of confusion. If I open my aperture wider, the cone becomes more squat, so I have less room before things go out of focus. Thus, I can take the same shot but control how much of it is in focus, like so. See? Understanding the circle of confusion in photography is a snap. The circle of confusion has to do with a political movement. In the 1850s, there was a secret society that dabbled in politics and eventually became the short-lived American Party. The group was anti-Catholic and believed in a conspiracy theory that the Catholic Church was planning to take over the country and restrict liberties. They were also highly anti-immigrant. Those two factors were related, as many of the immigrants at the time were coming from highly Catholic areas like Ireland and Germany. As usual, the poor immigrants were blamed for bringing crime, not assimilating, and well, every other anti-immigrant stereotype that you can probably imagine. The group did have some political success. In 1854, they took control of all major positions in Massachusetts. Powerful members included a judge on the state Supreme Court in California who made blatantly racist rulings, including not allowing Chinese immigrants to testify against white folk, a mayor of Chicago who forbid immigrants from taking city jobs, and former President Millard Fillmore, who had previously been in the Whig Party. The secretive group was unkindly referred to as the Know-Nothings because members were supposed to answer, "I know nothing," whenever a non-member asked about the group. One thing most of them truly didn't know was that there was a secret society within the secret society. As is not uncommon in such things, a small group was secretly running the larger group. Members of this inner circle included Levi Boone, Robert T. Conrad, and Millard Fillmore. After the larger group was labeled the Know-Nothings, this inner circle began to refer to themselves privately as the Circle of Confusion, presumably as a riff on the Know Nothing label. Some of their correspondence seems to suggest that they absolutely delighted in the idea of using Fa ignorance and confusion to dupe what they considered to be the ordinary rubes, as Boone put it in one of his letters. The group and the associated political party fell apart rapidly after the 1856 presidential election in which they won just a single state. Clearly, one thing they didn't know was how to have staying power. All right, are you ready for the big reveal? If you haven't already, please go in the comments and give me your best guesses. I know that seems a little hokey, but it helps me with the algorithm to have the comments. All right, so the first one, the production company, Circle of Confusion, real. I will link their website in the description, but all the facts I gave about them, true. The second one, the photography term, true. I may have explained it poorly. I definitely oversimplified it a little bit. My explanation of it's not great, but that is my best explanation of a real phenomenon. I will link a couple articles explaining it in the description. The third one, the secret society within a secret society, false. The Know Nothings were a real group. Most of the facts I gave about them are true. However, as far as I know, there was no secret inner circle, and there definitely wasn't one called Circle of Confusion. I will link some information about the Know Nothings in the description, but for the most part, the things I said were true except for the inner secret society, which I completely made up. Circle of Confusion sounded something like what the Know Nothings would want. All right, I hope you did well. Please, in the comments, let me know if you like this format and if I should do it again, and I'll see you in the next video.